Greetings and welcome to the energy of Sagittarius. This is Ron from Tarot of the Twin Sun. Tarot of the Twin Sun is a functional division within the Twin Sun. So format's changing. We are basically going to go straight in, no fluff. We're going straight into the reading. I'm doing a reading for the 9th house Sagittarian energy, and essentially we're going to be looking into the arc when it comes to karma. And this will be, generally speaking, a pretty fast tarot reading. We're going to go into karma, then eventually we're getting into a new technology, at least when it comes to tarot, that involves the quantum triangle. The quantum triangle is a tool devised by the Twin Sun to see particular energies when it comes to vibration between past and future. Okay, and then in the present moment, some mode of ascension, they call it apotheosis, which is basically moving from the mortal realm into the immortal. And so as above, so below. It's going to require 6 cards, etc. And we'll go ahead and get started. Now this is for the month of June 2023. Okay, I see here cutting with the past. Clear cutting with the past. That's the overall overarching sort of message for this month. Primarily clear cutting with the past. Now, the interesting thing is that this requires, something in the past has been very difficult, especially with Scorpio energy. The movement from Mars, from one sector to another. This has to do with trying to understand transformation of your own self by transforming through others first. Relationships have been very difficult. Tense, trying to co-create, very difficult. There is a choice. The choice was refused by one party or another. You or them, and then there was an ultimatum and essentially a form of collapse. Trying to build on that type of ultimatum energy led to a type of collapse. And this is with others in general. Okay, so your higher mind, your intellect, is essentially raising the sword of truth and helping you to partition from the past. This is a month about partitioning. You have to claim your territory. You have to know your truth in order to essentially cut energies from the past. Okay. In the near future, when it comes to this, the outcome is essentially more authentic relationships. The thing is that ultimatum energy, when it comes to workplaces, when it comes to important relationships, when it comes to other people in general, it doesn't work out. There needed to be a very firm choice, a choice that came from the heart, not from any lower vibrations. Heart and above. Okay, heart and above, not any lower vibrations. Because of such, something was activated, a triggering that occurs when your survival instincts kick in. I'm talking about lower baser instincts kick in, and they motivate the symptoms of anger, effects of reactivity. Okay, you're coming to a still point, a still space in this month, and able to cut yourself off from the past, to be cold and distant from the past. Okay, especially when it comes to collapses that fall when choices are not made, when an ultimatum is given. And that sort of stands against your own principle, your own design. Make sure to ground yourself in the future, and essentially people will come, very authentic people will come. And this will help with this sort of regenerative process of your own emotional catharsis. You're needing to purge, whatever like that is very important. Be patient. Jupiter is watching over you. And once what Jupiter will give you is essentially a sense that it's kind of almost over, this way of doing things, this need to provide a sense of stability when it comes to the kind of burden of working with others. This is a very independent month for you. You have independence, and people will support you. The right people will come in and support you on your independence. Now, let's move over to the quantum triangle, the quantum fields. This involves entanglement, the co-creation or the co-relation of your past self and your future self to create some sort of rising up, some sort of ascension mode in terms of the triangle. So there's ascension, past, and future places, 6 cards. Yeah, I'm good. Okay, interesting. I see here a mode of ascension that is based on the ability to return, okay? To return to something, it's very strange. It's like the way you act, what you deliver is basically, it's like the ability to be really true to the nature of things. Like, it's like you can't give back to something that was loaded. Okay, you can't give back to something that was loaded. What was it loaded with? Conditions, expectations. You can't give back to that. And that's your sort of message. There's been a period of essentially deep need to search within yourself to see what is truly given by others, to find your own sense of prosperity, to also note that even in the ultimatum, of where someone was trying to press upon you a way of doing things, a conditionality, and in all of that, you're still gifted something. There's a lesson in that. You've learned that lesson. And this is new to you in terms of like what you can actually prosper from in the disharmony of situations, the disharmony of also basic instincts, okay? Wherein you have to protect your own resources, your idea of like isolating yourself, your idea of like being on your own and doing your own thing is a wise choice. But even then, there is a lesson in that sort of still space, that lonely or existential space of self-discovery. Essentially, you are able to give back to the past by not giving truly. It's like you're acting from a non-toxic place. You've walked your own path of perfection and isolation, and it's given you a truth. You're able to share this truth, and it has to do with not giving to those who especially have abandonment issues, that have father issues in particular, big time. And in a way, there is a sense that these people have been siphoning that energy. What results out of it is a sense that regret can be released. Okay, regret can be released. This has to do with the idea of you perfecting a way of doing things, a way of behavior. Okay, but in that you've noticed your own sort of nuances, And one of them has to do with the sense that you can't give to places that are already full, that have their own baggage, that have their own, overflow of, let's say, toxicity or overflow of content that might be susceptible to manipulation, and you don't want to contribute to that game of manipulation. It's a lower vibration thing. You are on the path, essentially. You've learned the path, you know your way, and there's something about what you can't give to the past that has to do with, I would say, emotions that were not your own, emotions that were not your own. And essentially you come to that place and essentially you walk the path of perfect imperfection when it comes to your behaviors, okay? And I think that's very good. You are envisioning something in the future that has to do with giving more to the right places, planting to the right seeds, planting your seeds in the right places during the right time. There's a sense of being in the present, very much in the future. This has to do with the harmony of envisioning something that is truthful, that is good for all, okay? That is good for all, and that's a very positive reading for this month. Now, when it comes to your natural state, and especially your unconscious and your subconscious, what's trying to be made conscious is a sense that you cannot change everything. You cannot alchemize all modes of water. If something's toxic inherently, sometimes it just needs to be thrown out. And what I see here is a dance between Jupiter and Saturn. There are two lessons here that come over time. It requires a lot of patience. One of them will naturally occur. Saturn naturally gifts those who are lazy, gifts those who take their time, gifts those who do not force things. And perhaps there's something about you that requires the patience of Jupiter, the patience of the great teacher of the ninth house, to essentially work with humbling yourself and also learning from your experiences when it comes to trying to fulfill the conditions of love, letting love flow, okay? Love is like a valve system. It's a pipe dream. And you have the ability to conduct where it goes, how it flows, and to what pipes they flow. Some pipes are more rustic than others. They're more rusty, or like they take longer to flow naturally. So it's your job to make it efficient, to make it ecological, also to make the water pure in a way, to deliver it directly from source, let's say. Don't worry, when it comes to karma, you are able to essentially bypass a lot, to really equalize things by not trying to force any form of alchemy in your love situations. Naturally, things will balance out, and I think it's of the highest truth to go through the process of feeling stagnant or feeling like you're in the middle of things and trying to figure out what exactly happened. That way of thinking and overthinking is done, and I think it's a very positive reading for you. Thank you. Sorry for the lateness. I do wish you well. Thank you. Bye-bye.